Hey, what's up, VC? It's Steve again, Harmless Rebel. Time for another metal and hard rock update. First up, in the background, we got a little bit of new wave of British heavy metal. See if we can see that a little bit better. This is Grim Reaper, See You in Hell. Really good album. I don't have this one on vinyl yet. It's one I've been looking for, but if you run across it, definitely pick it up, whether it's on cassette, CD, or vinyl. Again, it's one of the new wave of British heavy metal bands, and it's a great metal album. So let's go ahead and get started. This first album I'm going to show you is actually a progressive rock album, and then we'll move into the hard rock and heavy metal from there. This was kind of cool that I ran into it. I kind of ran into it by accident. It's Marillion, Script for a Jester's Tear. This side, a little better view. It's a gatefold. This is Marillion's first album, and I gotta say, this may be one of the best first albums I've ever heard. I mean, especially with progressive rock bands, in my opinion, it's usually their second or third, sometimes fourth album. But that third album area is kind of the sweet spot for progressive rock albums or bands for some reason. And I tell you what, Marillion came out swinging with this one. And this is just an amazing album. It's only 6 songs, I think. And it's all 6 of them are classic Marillion songs. I mean, they're amazing album. If you run across this, pick it up. And then I was actually thought it was kind of cool. I didn't notice it when I bought it. This is actually the British pressing. And like I said, I kind of found that one by accident. I was in the record store. I had picked 3 albums that I was going to get, and I happened to notice a small stack on the chair behind him, and asked, hey, what's going on with the Marillion right on top? Because I never see Marillion in the record stores. He was like, oh, that one just came in. I haven't looked at it yet. I was like, well, if you don't mind, take a look at it. I'd like to pick it up. And he took a look at it, gave me a killer price for it. So, again, Script for a Jester's Tear. If you like progressive rock, you know, whether it be Yes, Rush, any of those bands, pick this up. Amazing album. This next one is a hard rock album. I knew the name and didn't know why. And then when I got home and looked it up, I figured out what it was. But this is Russ Ballard and the Barnett Dogs. Russ Ballard was the lead singer of, was it Argent, I think? Yeah, it was Argent. He was their lead singer. He's also a pretty amazing songwriter as well. I picked this up too. I saw it was just a cool album cover. That's what attracted me to it at first. And it's a pretty good hard rockin' album. For those of you that aren't familiar with Russ Ballard, again, he was the singer of Argent, but he also wrote New York Groove, which was made famous by, Ace Frehley. I think it was recorded by a band called Hello or something before that. I've never heard that version. The Ace Frehley version is the one, and that's on his Kiss solo album. He also wrote God Gave Rock and Roll to You, which again was really blew up with Kiss. I think Argent actually recorded that first, and then I think it was recorded by Petra as well. But the Kiss version is by far the best. And then I looked. He's written 30 or 40 songs for other people since the early 70s. So you know, if you like any of his stuff, this is a great album. I'm not sure what's up with the shoes, and I just kind of lost respect for him by looking at those. But pretty good album, worth checking out. Next up, any of you that like hard rock or heavy metal should be familiar with this. Tesla. It doesn't matter which Tesla album you get, they're all good. This is The Great Radio Controversy and has Love Song on it. That's probably the biggest hit off of this, but it's just a great album from beginning to end. Yeah, Heaven's Trail is also on there. Really good and worth checking out. It's this one's a stamp promo. I think I paid like $2.50 or $3 for it. I was kind of blown away when I saw it for so cheap. So this next one was just kind of a blind buy. Actually, the same day I bought the Argent, and then one of the albums I'm going to show in a little bit here. I ran across this. Not really sure what attracted me to it initially, but I saw the Scarlet Red and had to check it out. And then I saw the picture of the band on the back, and I pretty much knew what it was, and turned out to be wrong. I thought it was just going to be hair metal, and it's actually Christian metal. Apparently this band toured a couple of times, and they were on the same label with White Cross, which I'm a huge fan of. That's my favorite of all the Christian metal bands. And then also, of course, Stryper. This is some real good music, though. I mean, it's in that same vein. I think Stryper is one of the weaker of the Christian bands. I think I've mentioned that before. I think White Cross is definitely the best. And then I really like a lot of the newer Christian bands as well. The bands like Devil Wears Prada and August Burns Red are pretty good. But Scarlet Red, if you run across this, definitely check it out. It was a really good album. Like I said, it was very unexpected. It was just kind of a blind pickup, but great album. This next band, I'm sure many of you have heard of. And they're kind of hard to classify, is probably the easiest way of putting it. This particular album is very hard rock, but it's TSOL, Hit and Run. They go back and forth. They've got stuff that's punk, they've got stuff that's hardcore, they've got stuff that's metal. And even on this album, there's a couple of songs that are very metal. Some are hard rock, and then some are kind of in the middle there. You know, it's they're a very out there band in that, or not out there is not the right word. Schizophrenic. Like I said, their first couple albums were very punk, and then they moved into hardcore, and then this was maybe their fifth album. I don't remember off the top of my head. This was later on though, but this one again is very hardcore. I'm sorry, very hard rock. It's a good album. It's definitely worth checking out. Whether you're a TSOL fan, it doesn't matter if you're into their punk, their hardcore, their metal. It's all good, so definitely check this one out. The same day that I bought that Scarlet Red, I also ran across this. This is Triumph, Just a Game. I've mentioned a bunch of times. Hang on, I don't think this was a U.S. pressing either. I don't remember. I think this might have been the Canadian press. I don't know. But this is Triumph, Just a Game. I've gotten into Triumph real heavily over the last 6 months or so, and anytime I find anything from Triumph, I pick it up. This is one that was missing. I'm actually still missing their first couple of albums. I think this was the third one, if I remember off the top of my head. But another great outing from Triumph. I really haven't heard anything from them that I didn't really enjoy, and it's got some pretty cool album art there as well. No, this one is a U.S. pressing. I don't know why I was thinking it was a Canadian pressing. And these last two are from the same band. First up, we got Balls to the Wall from Accept. A little bit of German metal there. This is probably one of the worst metal covers. I get it. He's holding a ball up against the wall. Get it? Balls to the wall. I don't know why he's dressed like like the biker from the Village People, I guess, for lack of a better. And it does look like he has a penis in his hand as opposed to a ball. I don't know what they were thinking with this one, but still, this is an amazing album. If you haven't heard Accept, they're definitely worth checking out. This one and the next one I show you are my two favorite of the Accept albums. I just recently read a top 200 top 200 metal albums of all time, and if I remember correctly, this one was in the top 30, which I don't know if I agree with that. It's definitely a great metal album. Top 30 of all time, I don't know. Especially when you consider, I think that the next album I'm going to show you is better than this one. So the next album is Metal Heart. If you haven't heard Metal Heart, download it, pick it up, find the vinyl, get it. This is an amazing metal album. I think this is where Accept really blew up, is when this album came out. I remember seeing the the Metal Heart video on MTV in probably 84, 85. I think this came out 83. No, 85. I'm sorry. So yeah, it had to be about 85. So in the middle of Metal Heart, he busts into Mozart on guitar. Wolf is their guitarist, or the lead guitarist. He busts into this solo and busts into Mozart. Just an amazing album. And this should be in every Metalhead's collection. So oddly enough, Wolf later put out a CD. I want to say it may have been in the 90s, but I think it was the late 80s. He left the band for a little bit. He's back in the band, if I remember correctly now. But he left the band, and he decided to do a metal guitar version of classical songs. He had like Bach and Beethoven, Mozart, Rachmaninoff. I can't remember all that was on there, but it was just a killer album of him doing classical music. So that's it, VC. I did pick up a couple tapes too. Yeah, let me show you those too. What the heck? Not gonna hurt nothing. Let's get a little tape love. I picked up Judgment Night. These are all from the thrift store. You can see I've still got the thrift store stickers on them. So I picked up Judgment Night. This is an amazing album. This was the first album that I remember, other than Run DMC and Aerosmith, where hardcore or metal bands got together with rappers. The couple of big ones on here is Just Another Victim, which was House of Pain and Helmet. Love that song. Biohazard and Onyx doing Judgment Night, which was probably the biggest hit off of here. Ice-T and Slayer doing Disorder. But Faith No More is on here. Mudhoney, Therapy, Pearl Jam. So it's not just metal. I mean, it was a pretty good mix because even Sonic Youth is on here and Dinosaur Jr. So, but great album. I would love to find this on vinyl. I don't even know if it was released, but that's one to look out for. Picked up a copy of Anima. The main reason I picked this up, I already have this on CD. I am looking for it on vinyl. I just haven't found it at a reasonable price. I want the original pressing, and they usually go for $250, $300. Eventually, I'm going to buy it. You know, I want to find it for a little bit less than that. You don't see this on cassette, though. I didn't even know that they released this on cassette. And then I was looking on Discogs and eBay, and it usually goes for about $10, $12. So pick that one up. I mean, it was 50 cents. Can't pass that up. Picked up 10 from Y&T. Just some good hard rock there. Mojo Nixon's and the Toad Lickers. That's just an awesome name, the Toad Lickers. And it's spelled like liquor, like alcohol, Toad Lickers. And this is Horny Holidays. I haven't listened to that, but we're checking that. I also picked up G3, which is Joe Satriani, Eric Johnson, and Steve Vai. Just a few of the guitar virtuosos out there. And then last up, The Mind is a Terrible Thing to Waste, Ministry. That is my my favorite of the Ministry albums. That was my introduction to Ministry right there. So I picked those up as well. That's it, VC. I hope you guys have a good weekend, and I'll see you soon. Take care.